Hi everyone, today is Thursday, April 7th. I'm Marv Eisen of Timeless Dollar Trading Academy, where I teach E-mini and micro E-mini day trading. So, how do you day trade? That's a question that I get all the time, and it's a pretty basic question. So let me take you through my day and how I start. And just to give you a little background, I've been day trading for about 20 years. So I've been in every kind of market situation that there is, and I've seen it all. So let me tell you a very basic way of how I start my day trading. I first look at the morning economic calendar to see if there are going to be any announcements that are going to tend to move the market. Now, most financial news is going to be announced prior to the market, but then there are going to be some announcements scheduled during open market periods, during the trading day that is, where those announcements have a high tendency to cause volatility in the market. And we had one yesterday on Wednesday, April 6th, right here, the Federal Open Market Committee meeting minutes, that's the FOMC, and that generally causes pretty high degree of volatility in the S&P market. The next thing that I look at is the morning news, the financial news. Generally, I look at CNBC's website. You can use whatever source of news that you feel comfortable with or that you're used to. But I use CNBC, and up here are all the flags where I can quickly see the state of the market. The Dow Jones is green, S&P is green today, NASDAQ, Russell 2000 VIX. I look at the market to see where we are. I peruse the articles, but not so much, because basically the news is going to be already baked into the price. So in the morning, I look at the news, but I also look at a few other things. I look at the European markets, because the European markets close prior to the American markets opening, and sometimes they could give an indication of where the US markets are going to trade. So the DAX is a German market. It's like the Fortune 40. The FTSE is a English market, Great Britain rather, I should say. It's 100 of the high cap stocks in Great Britain. CAC is French, again, high cap, 40 stocks in the CAC, I believe. So I look at that. I also look at the price of the 10-year Treasury, and just to get an indication if rates are up, down, steady, whatever. These are all market metrics that I keep in the back of my mind just to gauge what the financial sentiment is. I go back to, and one other thing, I look at the price of oil. Now, oil is down slightly. It's been up well over 100, up to 120 a couple of weeks ago. Now it's down to 96 today. Brent crude is 100, but still in all, it's on the south side of 100 for U.S. oil traders. So that's pretty good, but still pretty high, right? So after I look at the morning news, I go over to my E-mini chart. And I want to go over a few things on this chart relative to the topic of the video, how to day trade. Well, in order to day trade, you've got to know what you're looking for or what you're looking at. And what you're looking for in the market are things that basically, when the market opens, haven't happened yet. Except a couple of things have happened that you can give yourself some information prior to the market session even opening. Two things in particular that I use are the close of the previous day, and I always put a horizontal line right here, which represents the close of the previous day. And I have a rectangle that I draw on my chart, and it's a very particular rectangle. This rectangle is based on 12 calculations, averages of 12 calculations, that are based on previous days' market movement, price movement. And this is based off something called the Taylor book method. George Taylor developed a method of measuring the markets back in the 1950s, and as useful as it was then, it's just as useful today. And traders, professional traders, in almost every market use this method to calculate market movements. So the two things that you can have knowledge of prior to the market even opening are the previous day's close and the day's trading zone. So you have two pieces of information before prices even open. What are the other things that you need to know about in order to know how to day trade? Well, some of those things are, beside the trading zone and the previous day's close, is the intraday high, the intraday low, buy areas, sell areas, and indicators. So those are things that you have to take into account when you trade or know how to measure them or how to read them. Beyond that, you also need to know trade setups. Trade setups are market patterns of price that repeat over and over, and they become a method of determining where prices are going to trade in the immediate future. So, as you can see, there's a lot to talk about on the topic of how to day trade. If you've been trading for a while and you see that you're having trouble and you don't quite know where your trouble comes from or how to correct it, I have a suggestion. You can book a 1/2 hour to 1 hour coaching session with me one-on-one where we can go over what your problems are, and I'm sure that I'll be able to offer you some suggestions to help you straighten it out in order to get better results. We'll go over your trading regime point by point, and I'm sure you'll be able to spot where your weaknesses are. So go over to my site at timelessdollar.com, and under the nav bar where it says trading courses, click on the link that said one-on-one coaching and schedule a 1/2 hour to 1 hour coaching session. So that's it for my video for today on the topic of how to day trade. This is Marv Eisen for Timeless Dollar. Thanks for staying with me. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you the next time around.